So I want to talk about trading psychology. Trading psychology. There's a couple things you guys want to know about. There's really about 12 or so main principles that you want to master, that you want to focus on, and that you want to make a pillar of thought. And if you've gone through the Gen Success Mastery course, you'll know what I'm talking about. The whole concept of taking a thought, turning it into a dominant thought, taking a dominant thought into a belief into a core belief, and a core belief into a pillar. If you have not seen the Gen Success Mastery course, check out Your Wish is Your Command, and I recommend becoming a member of the Gen Success Mastery course. Now, with that being said, make these principles of trading, make them first a belief, then a core belief, right? And then a pillar. And so if you can get these as a pillar, they're going to be a part of you, okay? And so the key is to ingrain with spaced repetition these specific thoughts. Number one, guys, is going to be, and I'm going to show you on the paper. Number one, you're going to focus on the trading plan. Trading plan, okay? Number two is going to be trading journal, okay? And these are words that they're going to categorize and combust. And so, for example, trading plan is one of the 12. Okay, let's say if I wrote a book about trading, okay, and there were 12 chapters, okay, what I would do is each chapter would have 12 paragraphs, and each paragraph would have 12 sentences. Okay, and so the point being is trading plan, you can look at that as 1/12, and there's going to be 12 micro subcategories of trading plan. And then you go into trading journal. That's 1/12. And there's going to be 12 micro aspects of trading journal. Okay. And you could say there's 5. You could say there's 15. The point is to subliminally and subconsciously program yourself to think like this. Think in terms of 13. And that way you will always remember. Everything you do, it's 13. No matter what, you have 12 notebooks. And each notebook has 12 categories. And each category has 12 subcategories. Each subcategory, and it's infinite fractals. Big, infinite fractals, small. So with trading plan, trading journal, you're going to get into risk to reward ratio. Okay. You're going to have risk management. Okay. And you can change this as you feel fits for you. Okay. And ultimately, we're going to get down to the truth, the core of exactly how it works. Risk management, risk to reward ratio, trading journal, trading plan. Okay, and I'm just going to throw out some words, and I'm going to encourage you to telepathically, and if this were live, to physically include yourself in this conversation. What are some words that come up for you? Okay, what are some words that come in for you? Scale in versus scale out. Okay, scale in versus scale out, or in other words, top-down analysis, okay, which is kind of similar to zooming in versus zooming out. You're zooming into the 1 minute, you're zooming out to the monthly, and then any fractals in between. Entry, the entry plan is part of it, okay, the exit, how are you entering, how are you exiting, okay, so you have stop loss, you have take profit. What else? What are some vocabulary words? Okay, we have pips, we have percentages, we have profits, we have loss, profit loss, right? Percentages, we have pips. What else? What else is there? Okay, trading plan, trading journal, risk to reward, risk management, scale in, scale out, top-down analysis, entry plan, exiting, stop loss, take profit, pips, percentages, profit and loss. It's pretty good. I would add in the compound effect or compound interest. You could call it compound effect, compound interest. Okay. You could talk about the psychology behind it. Specifically, the psychology of, I would look at it as quarterly. Okay. Look at quarterly goals within a year, and then 1 year within perhaps a 3 or 4 year. And think about the numbers, and then you bring it back all the way down to this week. You bring it all the way back down to this day. You bring it all the way back down to this trade. Pips, percentages, profit, loss. Okay, so now with that being said, this is trading. Is there anything else that comes to mind for anyone? What else is there? And so enter and exit. So break it down to the micro. I would break it down, if I could turn this into a video. Well, it doesn't have to be 10 minutes. It doesn't have to be 30. It doesn't have to be an hour. It could be whatever it turns out being. But if I went into the entry plan specifically, right? Entry and exit is going to be about as zoomed in micro as it gets. Entry and exit. If we went deep into the entry, deep into the exit, okay, that's going to be the micro. Okay, and if we do that first, then if we zoom back out, and if we say how many weeks in a row of profit loss, pips percentage, how many months, how many years, how many decades, zooming out all the way, decades, and then you zoom it all the way back in and say entry, exit. If you want to be a Hall of Famer in professional sports, right? Baseball's the World Series, football's the Super Bowl, basketball's the NBA Finals. Right, if you want to be a Hall of Famer, you've probably got to have the points record, or you got to be in the top 10, top 25 maybe. You got to have some championships. You got to be on a good team, and it's got to be over your career. It's got to be 5, 10, 15 or 20 years of having good seasons stacked up on top of each other. To have a good season, you got to have good weeks. You got to have good days. You got to have good games over and over again. So bring down the game into the minor detail of this play versus next play, this quarter versus next quarter. Bring it back down into this week, today. How are we entering and how are we exiting the trades specifically? And there's a couple different ways that you can enter trades. Some things you want to be aware of: the candlestick patterns. Okay, candlestick patterns. It's Japanese. The Japanese candlestick patterns, JCP. Okay, you're going to want to think about where you're putting your stop loss, where you're putting your take profit. Okay, you're going to be doing that. Think about where you are trading. Okay, where are you trading? Specifically, what zone? Okay, some people do supply and demand. Those are some keywords: supply and demand. Where's the money at? Okay, where's the money at? Supply and demand. Where are you trading? Where's price going to be? Right. So where's price going to be? You have your order blocks. You have your liquidity, order blocks, liquidity. You have fair value gaps. Okay. These are the ICT concepts that a lot of people are becoming aware of in today's world. And you have the trend lines. You have the classic, virtually you have the trend, right? What else is there? There's the trend, uptrend versus downtrend. You have continuation versus reversal. Okay, so the point is there's a lot of context. I mean, there's a lot of vocabulary here. And so the point is to simplify it all the way down to the core. And this is what I believe is what I'm the best at, is simplifying it down. And so hold me to this standard, because this is my goal, is to, when you get down to trading Forex, specifically trading, okay, we're talking about their trading Forex is Z, and there's going to be the ABCs of Forex. And so if I created the ABCs of Forex, what would be the categories? And then how do we break them down into minor categories? How can we organize, clarify, organize, and simplify all the way to the core, okay, of what actually we're looking at? And that way it's so simple that anyone can apply it, okay? And that's the goal, trading, okay? And so with entries, then you have, okay, you push the button, okay? You push the button. When you're pushing the button, what specifically is being done? You have the lot size that you use. You have, is it a manual entry? You have pending orders, okay? You have what time of day, okay? The time of day. You have, so you have what made you enter, okay? Was it your trading plan? Was someone called out a trade? Copy trading, some people call it, right? So think about it. Think about what are all the specific details of trading entries, and then how do we break this down into a simple, organized format? That way anyone can apply it simply, okay? And so if it's simple enough, then it can be applied, and if it can be applied, it can be used to get the result. Guys, Knowledge is not power. Applied knowledge is power. You can apply what you remember. And I believe that, and I've heard that before, and I believe that it's true. Things have to be simple for you to be able to apply it, and they have to be simple for you to be able to get the result and to be able to consistently predict the outcome. You have to have a simple format of looking at things. Now, with the exit plan, you got to have your risk-reward ratio. Okay, did it hit your 1 to 2? Did it hit your 1 to 3? Maybe it's 1 to 4, 1 to 5. Risk-reward ratio, RRR, the risk-reward ratio, right? So think about it. And then you have how many pips. What was the percentage gain? Pips, percentage, and perhaps the dollar amount. Okay, and then you have what are you trading on? The account type, the account size, the broker. There's a lot of details. So you don't want to get overwhelmed with the details. You want to find a way to simplify this. In a perfect world, this will at some point be turned into a book. And so my goal would be to share this in a simple, organized format, and that way it's easy and simple to apply. Okay, easy and simple to apply. Typically, we recommend having a trading window. Have a trading window and to have a simple plan that's executed in that trading window. Okay, so hopefully this can be turned into a slideshow, possibly into a book, even into a book. And so we're going to be doing this, and this is going to be sharing with others what this actually looks like: trading, entries, exit, time of day, pips, percentage, dollar amount, those basic details. So that's going to be it for this video. Trading, anything else that we ever talk about in trading, one of the key vocabulary words from this video will be used. So every single video that I ever make, or that virtually anyone ever makes in the history of trading, one of the words or multiple of these keywords mentioned in this video will be mentioned. And that's how we've categorized it down to the simple, specific way of how things work. Okay, so the key is the power of 13. Okay, so if you understand, we're going to flip the page. And by the way, I'm going to show you the page. Before we flip it, you can screenshot this if you like. It might be backwards, depending upon how that is it backwards, or I can't see it because my camera's flipped, but can't see it. But what I'm going to share with you is 13. So the point being is 13 is the peak. Okay, 13 is the peak of the mountain. 13 is the cherry on top, and 13 is the crown of the king. Okay, so the crown of the king, let's do crown of the king. So crown of the king is what you do at the end, right? So once you have head, shoulders, knees, and toes, then you put the crown on top. So you have 2 shoulders, right? You have 2 elbows, you have 2 wrists. That's 6. And then you have two hips, right? Your left and your right side of your hips. And then you have your 2 knees and your 2 ankles. So that's going to be 12. And then 13 is the head, okay, which is the crown of the king. And this is every single thing. And Kevin Trudeau, shout out to Kevin Trudeau, because he talks about mega memory. He talks about the concept of using pegs, okay? And so the key in pegs is, if I can show you, head, shoulders, knees, and toes. If I stand here like this, okay, head, shoulders, knees, and toes, head is 13. And so this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and then 11, 12. So the body is 12, and then the head is 13. And so if any point in time you are, let's say you're sitting down and you're wanting to remember something. However, let's say you don't have your notebook, you don't have your phone, and you don't have ChatGPT, okay? But you have to remember something without your phone, without your notebook, and so the power is in using your memory. And so you peg something to your ankle, or to your knee, or to your hip, or to your wrist, your elbow, or your shoulders, okay? And so you get about 12 or 13 pegs, and typically that's about all you're going to need. Because if you're trying to remember more than that, at a time, you're probably out of the present moment and not into the application of what you're actually remembering, why you're remembering it before. And so it's something to keep you present and to equip you with knowledge that you can remember. Okay, so let's say, for example, you're trading, okay? And let's say, you could just write it down on your laptop, or you can write it down in your notebook. But maybe you don't have it with you, or the point is to have the power inside you, not in your stuff, not in your notebooks, not in your laptops, but to have the power inside you, which means you don't need a pen and paper. It means you don't need your phone and you don't need your laptop. How powerful can you be to access your own memory? Okay, so if you can remember 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, and then 13. Okay, so understand that. 13, you can remember 12 things about Forex. Okay, what's my trading plan? What's my trading journal? What's my risk reward ratio? What's my risk management? What's my entry plan? What's my exit plan? Right? What's my profit loss goal? And stuff like that. So consider that, think about that, and the same thing you do with trading, you'll do with any other category of life. You'll peg it, you will use it into specific details, and it'll be minor specifics and then macro specifics. It will always be specific. It will never be random. It will never be general. Okay, it's never general. It's always specific. It's always simple. It's always the same, and it's always specific. That's how you know the truth. The truth is always the same. It's always simple, and it's always specific. That's how you know what the truth is. The truth never changes. The truth is always the same. It's always simple, and it's always specific. And anything that's not the truth is really just fluff. It's watered down, and it's not the actual truth. So the truth is the same, it's simple, and it's specific. And it's always the same, simple, and specific. And the same Z that you use for trading, you can use for any other Z, any other category. You peg it within what are the 12 main categories. And within those 12 categories, what are the main 12 subcategories? And if you zoom it out in context of 12s, okay, zoom it out in context of 12s. The college football season is 12 weeks, and the playoffs is week 13. So think about that. There's 4 13-week periods in a year. And so that's another form of concept of 12s. And if you have a 12-week period, that's virtually a quarter. 13th is the extra week. Okay, it's the extra week. And if you look at, there's 52 weeks in a year, and then there's going to be 104 in 2 years and 156 weeks in 3 years. 156 weeks is 3 years. In 3 years, there's 12 quarters. And in a quarter, there's 12 weeks. And so look at it in the context of that. Simply, a 3-year period, which is 12 quarters, okay? And then each quarter is about 12 weeks, okay? And then each week, you bring it back down to what specifically are you doing today? Context is what's the same, simple, specific system that's executed every single week, every single day, and as you evolve, you continue the creation cycle as a day of discipline is done. And this is how it works, ladies and gentlemen. This is exactly how it works. There is nothing else other than what I just spoke that is the truth. At the purest form, this is the truth. The same simple, specific system, that's the structure. Okay? The same simple, specific system. It's the same, it's simple, and it's specific. And you can use it and apply it for any category of life in context of what are you doing today, this week, in this quarter, and in this 3-year cycle. Okay? Consider this at all times. Consider this every moment. Consider this every day. Consider this every week, because it is the truth. And it is the answer to every question. It is the solution to every problem, because the context is, what are you focused on? And what are you creating? And what do you do every day, every week, and how are you looking at it while you're doing it, guys? Ladies and gentlemen, this is the truth. This is the answer to every problem, the answer to every question, solution to every problem, guys. Same, simple, specifics is the solution. Same, simple, specifics is the solution.